Anyway, let's talk about the Yankees and what they still need. And in terms of pitching, Jack, we've talked about this. Starters, relievers, it doesn't look like they need a whole lot. It seems like they're set.
No, I think that their pitching staff is set as long as everyone is healthy. You go to spring training, you always might have one person who sneaks out. David Phelps did that last year, but David Phelps is a guy who should be part of the staff this year. A guy to look for is Mark Montgomery. He had a great season for them and also continued in the Arizona Fall League. Maybe he's a guy who could sneak in at some point. But I look at that assembled staff right there, Bob, and I think Joe Girardi says, I'm pretty happy with that. I like this group as it's assembled, and you can go into a season and believe that this group can get you 90 wins.
Yeah, the sneak guy, Jack mentioned a sneak guy. The sneak guy for me is David Aardsma, right? He was a closer for 2 years in Seattle. I know Dave Valley saw a lot of him. The Yankees signed him a little like they signed John Lieber about 7, 8 years ago, with the idea of getting him the following year after he rehabbed. And if everyone remembers, in 2004, John Lieber was a big pitcher for the Yankees. He really helped them get as far as the ALCS. Everyone knows what happened in that ALCS, the Yankees, but he really helped. Aardsma was a proven closer in the American League if he comes all the way back. That would be a big deal for them in replacing Rafael Soriano as a guy who could help in the 7th, 8th. And if anything were to happen to a 43-year-old Mariano Rivera, you have a guy who's saved more than 30 games twice already on your staff.
Yeah, if Aardsma is anywhere close to where he was health-wise with the Seattle Mariners, the Yankees are going to love this guy. He takes the ball. He's a great competitor. And if Mariano can come back and be healthy, you got some strong guys to set up. Robertson and also Aardsma. As you're getting through that 7th and 8th inning, that's a strong bullpen. I like their rotation. And if I'm Joe Girardi, I'm looking at that and going, I'm good.
And I think the thing about Aardsma that he gives them and Robertson gives them too is the Yankees hope Mariano will be himself when he comes back. But even when Mariano was the great Mariano, they baby him. They coddle him. He's going to throw 60 innings. He's not going to throw 4 days in a row. When you have other options, when Joe Girardi says, Aardsma's closed, I can use him today. Robertson, we've given him a chance to do it. Girardi can say, I can use him. So to have options besides Rivera, I think that's one more thing Girardi likes.
And look, a year removed from Tommy John surgery and hopefully staying away from trampolines, the Yankees still have Jabba Chamberlain also, who's probably as good a 7th inning man as you'd find, and he'll be pushed, if everyone's healthy, until maybe the 6th inning, and it's his walk year. And generally, what you get in the walk year for a player is a very motivated player in the best shape of his life, right. And that's where Jabba Chamberlain is right now. They have a chance to have a lot of power from the 6th inning on this team, including Boone Logan, who's a power lefty.
And, Joel, you mentioned Phil Hughes is in a walk year as well, so kind of keep your eye on him to see if those numbers really start to climb as he's approaching free agency.
You know, a guy that Yankees fans didn't even get to see last year was Michael Pineda, traded from the Mariners. If he comes back and he's healthy, what can Yankees fans expect?
He's a strike thrower. This big, strong guy. I know there was a lot of talk about him starting a game throwing 91, 92 miles an hour, but he would always start to climb back up to 97, 98. I was very impressed with him. I think that shoulder may have had started to weaken that second half of that year with the Seattle Mariners. He got out of the gates great. He was an all-star. And I think if he can come back healthy, he will be a nice piece to be able to slide into that rotation.
Guys, let's talk about the position players. And we know that a lot of the veterans are back, obviously. Alex Rodriguez will not start the season healthy. He'll be rehabbing from surgery that's scheduled for January. As you look at that, Jack, what else do the Yankees need here?
You look at that, and there's a lot of names there that make you feel secure. You have to say, not to pick on Chris Stewart, but one that doesn't make you feel secure is you say, who is going to be the Yankee catcher? Because right now you have Stewart, you have Cervelli, and you have Romine. I've said it on this show a bunch of times. The Yankees were really hurt by the fact that Romine didn't get a full year at AAA last year. Because if he did, I think you could go into the season thinking that Romine had challenged and conquered what he needed to conquer at AAA. Maybe he's your guy who you can say, he's the starter this year. Instead, they're looking at these 3 guys competing in spring training, and I don't think they're going to have a starter in the true sense of the word where someone who's going to catch 100, 110 games. I think it's going to be a mix, and I think they'll ride the hot hand. Unless they make a move between now and opening day, they'll ride the hot hand of those 3 guys.